All right, so what you're looking at here is a file from a client that said, hey, this represents what we would need to do on a regular basis. So we took their step file, basically put it on Tubist, and then put it on an actual machine. And the machine you're looking at is a 3-chuck laser with a 12 kilowatt cut head on there, so you can power through most anything, and that rust is not an impedance in what you have to do. That 360 millimeter chuck can accommodate anything as small as 1 inch all the way up to 14 inches. And it can be I-beam, it can be C, it can be closed, rectangular, it can be angle. All those things work on here. You might have to change the clamp at the other end. That is the back chuck. And as we go through this, we'll cut through it at the real speed without changing anything, so you can get a feeling for the time and the processing. Then you will see that the table will lift up to support the piece that comes off. The third chuck will grab the end as it's extended, and you'll be able to get that off of the part that auto unloads. So there's an auto loader in the other videos you see on YouTube, and there's the auto unloader on these machines that are included. So we're processing it as it goes through, not a problem. Sometimes the small pieces will fall through. If there's a risk of the piece being awkward, then you can leave a micro tab. So here you see the third chuck coming in to grab it. Now you've got support keeping everything stable, and then you can process and continue. And what you notice is that cut head has movement. So where we can do stationary cutting, meaning the beam is stationary, and move the cut head, the smaller piece, you save a lot of energy because you're not moving that huge mass of steel weight, and you have less inertia when you're just moving the cutting head because the piece is steady. So that was an innovation that we came up with about 8 years ago, and people are following that now, but that's called the stationary cutting, where the head moves and the beam itself stays stable. So we're getting towards the end of the piece shortly. You can see how that laser just powers through the steel, no problem. There is a pierce that goes on before it goes through, and then once it's made that pierce, it continues on with the cut. There's a little slot that fell out that gets out of the way. At the end of the video, I'll show you the actual piece on the ground. It'll be a little bit hot, so we'll touch it with our hands and we'll move the camera around it. Again, so many videos are sped up. We want to show you the actual processing cut time. Not that every piece would require this long, because you do it at either end, maybe puncture some holes through. And you see that the table lifted up to support the piece. So when it's cut, the drop is going to be a very, very short distance. I've left some of the sound on in the background so you can hear what's going on. So now it's going to cut the final piece, and you'll see that drop down. So as mentioned, you could have left a small tab in that just so it doesn't get in the way or jam anything up. You just knock that out easily afterwards. And this is the final cut of this particular piece that was in the step file. You don't have to think about everything. The software is intelligent enough to make that easy for you with regards to what to cut first, etc. And here you go. So drop down. See how those tables lift up? Each one of those are on their own servo. It's not one servo running all of them. So just a quick look at the file the client sent. And now you can take a look at the actual piece and the final cut results. So that rust or that mill scale isn't an issue. If there was a tremendous amount of mill scale on your product, You could run what we call a defilming. That's the same as when you would cut stainless steel. There's often a film on it, so you'd burn that off first. And just from a different angle so you can see that piece. No prep, that was right off the machine. Thanks for watching.